while back, someone asked me a question. They said, if you lost everything tomorrow, your money, your business, your books, your YouTube channels, everything, what would you try to get back first? I thought about it for a minute. And then I realized it wouldn't be any of those things. The first thing I'd want back is the ability to think clearly. Because once you can think clearly, you can rebuild almost everything else. Here's something that I've come to believe. The older I get, the more I believe your mind is your greatest asset. Not your education, not your resume, not your network, not even your experience. Your mind. Because everything else flows from it. Every decision, every relationship, every opportunity, every problem you solve, every mistake you avoid, it all begins here. And that's why I become so protective of the way that I think. I think that we protect the wrong things. It's interesting to me. People spend thousands of dollars protecting their homes, their cars, their phones, their investments. But very few people spend the same amount of time protecting the quality of their thinking. We allow outrage to rent space in our minds. We allow social media to shape our attention. We allow other people's opinions to become our own without ever slowing down to examine them. And then we wonder why life feels so confusing. Maybe the problem isn't that reality has become more complicated. Maybe we've become less intentional about how we process it. A few years ago, I started thinking about information the same way I think about food. If I eat junk food every day, I shouldn't be surprised when I don't feel healthy. And the same thing happens mentally. If I consume outrage, fear, constant negativity, surface level conversations, and endless distractions, why would I expect my thinking to become clearer? Your mind digests ideas, just like your body digests food. And eventually, you become a reflection of what you have consistently consumed. And that realization changed the way I read. It changed the way I watch videos, the way I use social media, even the conversations I choose to have. I can say that there were books that changed me. One thing I've noticed is that the books that changed my life weren't always the books I agreed with. Sometimes they were the books that challenged me, the ones that made me uncomfortable, the ones that forced me to stop reading for a few minutes because I needed time to think. And those books didn't simply give me information. They reorganized the way I understood reality. And looking back, Those have been some of the most valuable investments I've ever made. People often ask me about success: business success, YouTube success, writing books, building platforms. And honestly, I think they're asking the questions a little too late. I think success is usually the byproduct. The real work happens long before anyone sees any results. It happens while you're building your mind. Every good book, every thoughtful conversation, every difficult question, every honest moment of self reflection. Those are the investments that eventually show up everywhere else in your life. Sometimes people think Black Logic Media is about history or race or philosophy or politics. And those are certainly topics that we explore. But if I'm honest, that's not really what I'm building. I'm trying to build better thinkers because I believe better thinkers become better leaders, better parents, better citizens, better neighbors, better business owners, better human beings. Everything starts there. Here's something I would encourage you to do: take 1 hour and invest it in your mind. Read something that stretches you. Watch a lecture that challenges you. Have a conversation with someone who sees the world differently than you do, not in an echo chamber and not in a war zone. They just see the world differently than you. Spend an hour intentionally improving the quality of your thinking. And then ask yourself, was that hour worth it? I have a feeling that you already know the answer. So, if I lost everything tomorrow, I'd still have one tremendous advantage. I'd know how to learn. I'd know how to think. I'd know how to begin again. And the more I reflect on it, the more I believe that's the most valuable thing any of us can possess. Not because it guarantees success, but because it makes growth possible. And as long as growth is possible, hope is always alive. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. I'll see you in the next conversation.